Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about part 2 of our basketball hoop project that we've been working on. So today, or the part 1, take a look at, we actually poured the foundation, got the anchors put into the ground. Part 2 here is assembly of the actual basketball hoop itself. So I'm looking at the instructions, doesn't look too bad. There's quite a few little parts to it, things like that, but it doesn't look like it'll take us too long to get this assembled. The one nice thing I will say so far with it, so I just put the pole together, really just kind of put that together, put some of the back anchors on here that are used for the crank that will allow it to go up and down for different heights that you want to have for, you know, littler kids and things like that. So the one nice thing I will say about the assembly so far is it identifies and separates all of the different pieces out for it. So extension arm assembly, all right, cool, that's what I'm on. So it's nice. Gives you a pre-packaged thing of it. Also gives you the Allen wrenches for the giant size bolts that they have for these. So you can see I don't have an Allen wrench that size, so I'm glad they actually gave those to us. So we're going to keep assembling. You have to assemble this entire thing on the ground. So you don't actually put this post into the concrete foundation until the very last step. You will need at least a couple of good-sized adults to get this thing put into the ground correctly, because just this is heavy, as you can imagine. So once you put the backboard on, put all the pieces on, it's definitely going to have some weight to it before to actually put it in its place. So we're going to get it all assembled on the ground, and we're going to see if we can get it put up today. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, one quick lesson is when you rotate it, because we're going to do the assembly for the thing. One quick lesson is to be careful, because those things are on a pivot, and if you, it'll crush your finger in there. So, and if you have a video person who thinks that that's funny, they'll video it when it's happening. Don't worry about if you actually lost a finger at your knuckle. No, just make sure you get it on video. So now we are putting on the handle assembly, which is handlebar assembly, which basically allows you to crank the basketball hoop up and down. So it's going to go in here, and then it'll have a crank at the end. It's got grease on it, so you got to be a little bit careful. It'll go right between here like this, and then it'll allow you to crank up and crank down the basketball hoop when you want to have some shorter players play with you. One quick thing when you're doing the handlebar assembly, you have to make sure that this isn't too tight, because if it's too tight, you're going to have to go back and loosen it again to make sure that you can get this piece, this metal piece, put in between there, and then I'll tighten it all back down again.
Alright, put the thing in.
I love you.
Yep, there you go. So now put the thing. I got this. Ooh, you probably don't have enough room. Why do you keep looking at your finger? Your finger's fine.
Okay, so like, look out for that thing. Okay, we're gonna have to stand it up more.
Don't let it drop on you.
That would be the goal not to do.
You gotta stand it up more.
Like, okay.
Almost there. There. Okay. Okay.
No. Okay, on assembling the handlebar assembly, one quick note, they don't tell you this in the instructions either. Crank down your bar a little bit, because you have to really push hard to get it where you're going to get this bolt to line up. Well, if you just give it a couple cranks, it'll line up a little bit easier for you, and you push the bolt in. You don't have to push down real hard on it to try to get the bolt to go through there. So that's one just quick thing. Doesn't say in the instructions, but do that. We'll use the back. We'll use the. Let's throw it over there. All right. I'll leave that in the box.
That backboard is big.
Okay. Backboard to pole assembly.
Alright guys, the next step is to tighten everything from the order that it was put together in. So that would start off with without the backboard, it would start off without that, yeah. And then these parts, whatever they're called, start off by tightening these up like he's doing now. And it would be really nice to actually have some wrenches. So if you're gonna put together a basketball hoop like this, get some wrenches, borrow them for your neighbor or something like that.
They want you to finger tighten everything first and then come back and tighten it. And you can see this is not a big 1/2-inch wrench, right? But you have to get in there with it and kind of hold it in place. And I'm using a socket wrench in the back. But it's really kind of tight. It's a tight spot to get things into. But if you don't hand tighten them first, you'll have to go back and loosen everything back up again. So make sure you hand tighten them first, and then do your best to get a wrench in there. Somehow. There we go. Maybe this will work. There we go. Get a wrench in there and tighten things down. It would help too if it wasn't cold out and I wasn't freezing doing this as well, but there you go.
Okay, yes, let's go.
Boom! Thank you, Dan!
This is the only way we could figure out how to get the backboard attached to the base, is to prop it up on 2 secure buckets. And he is holding all the weight of the pole.
This way we don't bend the rim and we don't bend our handle assembly. Last thing we want to do is break that. So I don't know why they do this all on the ground and then tip it all up, if it's just easier because the weight and just the holes lined up, but this is the way they do it. So
are we gonna carry this outside and then kind of tip it up and
yes.
attach it? This is why you need at least 3 grown adults. And, well, 2 grown adults and a 13-year-old. Who's the size of a grown adult?
Hey, come on, you gotta tighten this other side, buddy. It's like, joking's fun and everything, but like after a while. Okay guys, so that's our final assembly and pretty much the completion of our project. We'll probably do a little bit on the base of it just to make it look a little bit better because of how our land is kind of pitched. It's got kind of a dirt cliff around the base of it, so we'll probably do something decorative to put our bricks or something like that around it to make it look a little bit more decorative. So other than that, that's the assembly of our lifetime 54-inch backboard in-ground basketball hoop. So that's it. The assembly was pretty good, pretty easy. The only thing that is a challenge with it at all is you really have to have, you know, extra help. You need a couple people to help. It's a lot to lift. So when you actually want to get the final assembly done and when you're tipping it up, you need probably a good 3 people to do it. So you need 2 that can carry it, tip it up, 1 that will tighten bolts for you at the base. So that's really what you need, is probably 3 good-sized people to do it, or 2 good-sized people and someone good with a wrench that can tighten it down for you. So that's really the hardest part. I will put a link below for the 54-inch lifetime that we got. I think we got it for roughly $500 to $600. Got it on a Black Friday deal, so it's probably around $600 or more at this point. We'll put a link below. This is the one we got, and you'll see now the instructions on how to do the base is part 1 of this video, to really put the base in the ground with concrete. Part 2 of the video is the assembly and actually final assembly, so you get what you see behind you. So that's it. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Let us know if we did anything wrong. I don't think we did, but let us know. We followed the instructions to a T. And then also let us know if you had your own done and what you paid for it. This cost us about $100 to put in total. So it was about just the concrete, renting a mixer for $35 for 4 hours, and that was really it. So we'll see you next time. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye.